This is Mark Bell from supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions today for the Power Project. Got a question today from Drew Taylor. I'm going to try to get through a couple questions here. Drew has a question about the Inzer Power Pants. He said he read online and he thinks that all the stuff he's hearing is that they are worthless. A hardcore powerlifter may think that they don't have a ton of benefit because they don't give you a lot of spring. However, if you're new to powerlifting and you try on any sort of powerlifting gear, you're going to go, holy crap, that's really giving me a lot more than I thought. I would say out of a pair of power pants that you can get about 40 or 50 pounds. But I would always suggest a squat suit anyway, because I think a squat suit is easier to get on. Inzer also sells a hardcore squat suit. I would suggest a single ply or multi-ply version. The reason why I always suggest Inzer is because they're one of the few companies that makes a stretchy material for some of their gear, and that's not going to alter your form a lot. That was one of your questions. You were asking whether it's going to alter your form quite a bit. I would call them up and I would tell them what you want to use it for. And I would tell them that you never competed before and that you just want to basically try to get used to something. You want to handle a little bit of an overload, and you're not looking for anything to be super tight. That's the key. If it's going to be real tight, you'll get more support. You'll be able to lift more, but it's going to kind of take away from some of the reasons why you purchased it in the first place. If you are a power lifter, then by all means, go all out and try to get the thing as tight as you can possibly handle. That's kind of the name of the game, is to wear as much stuff as tight as you possibly can and go out there on the platform and hopefully you don't die. But as an athlete, wearing powerlifting gear or slingshots and things like that, you don't want these items to be too tight, too restrictive of your form. You just want them to be on. You want them to help protect you, protect the joints, the tendons, the ligaments, the muscles, and so on, and then also allow you to handle more weight. You can't really beat that. I mean, the amount of volume, somebody should really be studying some of this stuff, because it's remarkable the amount of volume you can handle in some powerlifting gear versus not wearing any powerlifting gear. It would probably even double that of a lifting belt. It's way more than what a lifting belt could ever do for you. So let's see if we can get to a couple more of these questions. This guy says he's moving to China. Damn. I wonder if this is from Mike Tashir. Mike Tashir is moving somewhere soon. I don't remember where. I don't remember if it was China or not. He's not sure if he'll be able to find a crew there to train with. And he's kind of wondering what type of training I would do if I was lifting by myself. What I would suggest is the first month or so, just have fun. In terms of benching, squatting, deadlifting, if you're used to special bars and special benches and special this or that, monoliths and stuff like that, then it may be quite a shock to you. But try to get used to the equipment that they do have. In a lot of these gyms, you can still hit up some good deadlift training, although they don't want you to like drop the weights or make too much noise sometimes. You can hit up various forms of deadlifts really in any type of gym. All you need is a barbell. And if they don't have things for you to do deficits off of, you can use 35-pound plates or 25-pound plates. You always got stiff leg deadlift, both sumo, conventional, and then you have regular conventional deadlifts, regular sumo deadlifts. You could always deadlift with bands. I've shown that many times. You can go to roguefitness.com and look that up, or go on the Rogue YouTube page and you can search for that. You should be able to find that. It's me just demoing how to deadlift with bands without a platform or anything like that. So those are some quick recommendations. I'd also change your training up completely for a little while and just do like sets of 8 or sets of 10, because if you're doing powerlifting, usually the best routine is to kind of go ahead and do the opposite of what you're currently doing. because you've been doing what you're doing for so long. So try to switch it up a little bit, change things up. Don't be afraid to use some machines. Machines have great value. A lot of people discredit the use of machines, but they exist for a reason. Bodybuilders use them for a reason. It's a great way to build muscle. And it's just another tool. It's another tool that you have in your weapon against weakness. Let's get on to another question here. I hate reading these while I'm talking to the camera here, but sometimes I don't have a choice. Somebody asked about the bamboo stick, the bamboo bar. I recently posted a video on supertraining.tv where you can view that. It's a bench press video. You can just click on the bench press section and it will pop up. It's a fairly recent video. It's just put up a couple days ago. The bamboo bar can be utilized as an assistance movement, or it can be utilized as a main movement instead of another movement, or it can be used as a secondary, what I call a secondary barbell movement. So you have some choices there. You got some options. The best way to use it is to utilize it for reps. Anything over 10 reps, I would say, would be good. And to continue to work your way up in kettlebells. We use kettlebells and mini bands at my gym. Sometimes we'll use kettlebells and monster mini bands, which the monster mini bands have disappeared from my gym. I don't know what happened to those. Or you can use a light band, but a light band is going to give you more stability. It's going to allow you to handle more weight, but it kind of takes away a little bit from the purpose of the exercise, and the purpose is to not have any stability. I've actually even done them with my feet up on the bench, which is quite awkward, but I've done them with my feet up on the bench just to create even less stability. It feels like you're going to fall off the bench. So that's a great exercise to build stability. I've told people many times before, to me, that felt like when I used that bamboo bar and I started to get to weights that I can barely handle on it, to me it feels like benching the 854 that I benched at 275, where it just feels like you're going to die. Like you're not sure, like you're either like, I'm going to press this or I'm going to get killed. And that's the way it kind of feels to me. Let's see. This guy says he has trouble, let's see, this guy, we had a guy who had a question about his wrist, and now I lost this question. I can't find it. Maybe if I was more organized, this whole thing would be a little easier. Okay, this guy's name is Debo, not D-Ball, but Debo. But D-Ball, Liquid D-Ball, I know you're out there. Liquid D-Ball has signed up on my YouTube page, and I was quite excited to get that message that he had signed up on my YouTube page. What about when you get an old high school like friend who like friends you on Facebook, and you're like, oh my God, that guy? Why did that guy friend me on Facebook? Don't you hate that? Anyway, so this guy, he says, my wrist is screwed up from benching beyond my means without wrist support wraps. Got that D. Quinfane syndrome, in parentheses, tendonitis. It's horrible. It still causes problems now, a year later. Stretches, grip work. And he's not really making a whole lot of sense here. Okay, so what you need to do, buddy, first of all, you need to buy some wrist wraps. And I would suggest you buy some wrist wraps from howmuchyoubench.net. I offer 2 different types of wrist wraps. The longer wrist wraps, even though they're extremely long, those are going to be the most beneficial to you because you're going to be able to wrap your wrist all the way from your forearm all the way down to your hand. You'll be able to make a cast type device for your wrist so your wrist won't hurt anymore, and you'll still be able to bench press. Some other things you're going to want to look into, you're going to want to look into doing some wrist exercises. Some grip work can help. I would just recommend using a fat bar and doing double overhand grip and holding the weights for long periods of time. Also, just deadlifting and holding the weights at the top for as long as you can on some of the big pulls. Also, switching your grip up on the deadlift, between having one hand under, one hand over, that can create a lot of just wreak havoc on the forearm and wrist area and just screw a lot of things up. Also, you're going to want to do some wrist exercises such as just wrist curls. In working with some physical therapists locally at Results, they helped me get over some pretty nasty wrist/forearm issues, and they had me do eccentrics, negatives basically for my wrist, which was kind of weird. But they basically said your wrist is so screwed up that you can't do a lot of concentric. You can only do eccentric. So I would pick my wrist up with my hand, if you can imagine that, and I'd have like a 10-pound dumbbell in it. I'd pick it up, I'd hold it over like a barbell, and then I would let it come down real slow. I'd do them that way, I'd do them this way, any type of variation that you can think of. Any sort of grip work is going to be valuable, even like overhead bottoms-up kettlebell presses where you squeeze the kettlebell real hard and you don't let it flop back over your wrist. You just keep it nice and straight and press it. Those types of things are going to help keep your wrist real stable. Even utilizing what we mentioned earlier, something like the bamboo bar, is going to teach you to squeeze that barbell real hard. If you don't have access to that, you can simply just put bands and kettlebells around the bar. If you don't have access to that, then you better wake up. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Get that wrist taken care of. Hit up some stretches and stuff for it. But for now, wrap it up and try to, over a period of time, use more and more weight without the wrap. But give it some time. I mean, who really cares what you can bench press without wrist wraps on? But you should be able to handle some weights without pain. You also might want to try a thumbless grip. I'm not a big fan of it. It's called a suicide grip for a reason, but that's an option as well. And that is it from supertraining.tv.